True Reviews here with yet another top 10 topic. But you knew that was going to happen. So, in a way, you could say that this was a surprise you saw coming. Well, whilst we're on the subject, don't you just hate it when a game's plot is really interesting, but then you get a plot twist and you're all like, well, I saw that coming a mile off. Well, here is my list of the most obvious plot twists in the top 10 most unsurprising surprises. Take it away. Cigarettes hurt. Okay, I suppose this isn't a plot twist, but what did you expect to happen when you decided to light one up on Metal Gear Solid? What, you think puppies would run in and Snake would be like rolling around in them? No, they damage your health, so stop smoking and butt out. Oh, that's right, I went there. In what can only be described as a sneaky anti-smoking ad, Solid Snake will soon discover that smoking cigarettes are not good. Yes, they show you where infrared lasers are, but there are other non-lethal ways of getting around them, and if you're lucky enough to get through that one part anyway, you'll find that you never have to smoke again. See? Giving up smoking's easy.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Kylina is the Empress of Time. She can talk in the third person as much as she wants, but the second the Empress of Time gets mentioned, and then we come across some random girl who won't really tell us anything about herself, leads me to doubt who she is exactly. And because no other female characters are getting mentioned here, I'm going to go ahead and believe that she is the Empress of Time.
You are the Empress!
Don't act so surprised, Prince. What makes this case even more of a letdown is that after going back in time, you end up catching up with all the game's events all over again, and this time you get to talk to Kylina, knowing full well that she is the Empress. Yet the Prince still does nothing about it initially. Oh well, at least he taps that at the end. Good man.
I'll teach you all this in easy steps. Course of a lifetime, you'll never forget.
Mr. Tong-san. Now, if you've played Deus Ex Human Revolution, then you've obviously met Mr. Tong Si-hong, leader of the Harvester Triad in Hengsha. However, if you've either got the DLC, or you own a copy of the Collector's or Augmented Edition, then you also get an extra mission to play. This time round, Tong asks you to go and rescue his son who has been captured by Black Ops forces. Take into account that this game is 20 years before the first one, and that one of the main characters in the other games has the same name as him, means that there is a f***ing good chance that Tracer Tong is the son in question. In fact, if you didn't see this coming, then you're clearly a retard. It's bloody obvious.
Well, well. Way to go, father. Lane Goodman.
The Inquisitor is really an agent of chaos. What gave it away? Well, possibly the fact that he seems to be hell-bent on obtaining the artifact that Captain Titus gains, or possibly the fact that he talks in such a sinister and two-faced way, or maybe it's the fact that he f***ing looks exactly like an agent of chaos. But seriously, how could you not see it coming the second he appears and then he says stuff like this?
Give the power source to the sergeant then, Captain.
And then when he does show his true colours, and then his dead colours, Captain Titus and his cronies are all like, "Aw shit man, I can't believe he's a spy. Man, you think you know someone and then pow, left turn." He might as well have been wearing dark glasses. That way he might have been a little bit more inconspicuous rather than about as obvious as a paedophile in the kids pool style that he was going for. I'm being serious here. The rest of the nominations might as well have won joint first place because they're so f***ing obvious. Oh well, here goes. Today's your anniversary, Raiden. Okay, so throughout the second Metal Gear Solid game, Rosemary keeps hinting to Raiden that the next day holds some sort of importance. Well, taking into account that she's a girl, and they're in a relationship, and that she keeps going on and on about when they first met, yeah, you know where this is going. She wants a three-way. Come on, if any girl you're seeing says the following, "Does today mean anything to you?" or "Does this date ring any bells?" you can go ahead and presume that it's your anniversary at the first time you either met or started dating. This should be a natural reaction amongst men, much like the answer "no" should be given as a reflex to the question, "Is she prettier than me?" Unless of course this other person is super fit. Or if she's talking about Kate Beckinsale, in which I'd have to be honest. Girl, she makes you look like you have Down syndrome by comparison. The only way you'd not get what she's getting at is if you were some sort of giant pussy. Ah, yeah, that's right, we're talking about Raiden here. And then right at the end of the game he gets it, and it's all like, seriously, I can't believe it took you that long to figure it out. Next.
Jack?
What?
Do you know what day it is tomorrow?
April 30th. Is there something special about it?
Isn't there?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Oh well. I'll keep trying till I hear the answer.
And my wife is dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
High five!
Jill Sandwich. No, I'm not talking about the original Resident Evil game. No, I'm talking about Resident Evil 5. You know, the one where they got it wrong. Well, throughout most of the game, Chris Redfield is all bummed out by the fact that his partner, Jill Valentine, is supposedly dead at the hands of Albert Wesker, though you never really see her death, while at the same time, we keep seeing a masked enemy who appears to be working for Wesker. Now, if I have two, and I add another two to that, I reckon she's Jill. Otherwise there's something wrong with my maths. I thought it was her the first time she even appeared on screen in this disguise. I was so convinced that it was her that I started referring to her as Jill, even though the game hadn't revealed that to me at this point. And then when she is revealed that she is actually Jill, the wow factor at that moment was about as noticeable as Vladimir Putin's political opposition. They acted like it was such a shock that they might as well have had confetti and balloons coming down at that point, and had someone shout out, "Surprise!" in the background. More like, duh. D for don't ask. Welcome to the 2003/2004 sequel to the original Deus Ex game. It's a fun time where there is only one person making music, frog suits are all the rage, there are only 2 brands of coffee, and tons of food can be found in large skips. You play this time as Alex D from Tarsus Academy. Now, it doesn't take a genius to guess what the D in his name stands for. Well, the main character from the previous one was called JC Denton, and then there was Paul Denton, and both of them were augmented, as is Alex. So the D must stand for...
Dumbass. Dumbass.
And then when it gets revealed that D does stand for Denton, I was all like, wait, was that the plot twist? I thought we were supposed to get that straight away. It would have been better if that D did stand for don't ask. Why did they try to make it inconspicuous by just having the first letter of his last name? That'd be like having Darth Vader as Darth Skywalker, and then having Luke as Luke S. Wow, I wonder what the S stands for. What an insult. It's about as poorly disguised as someone using a hymn book to try and cover a boner in church. It might as well have been Alex F you as his name, because that's pretty much what the game is saying to us.
1, 2, 3, follow me, let me got 180 degrees.
Sheik is Zelda. Man, I hope I pronounced that right. Whilst I cannot have a go at Zelda Ocarina of Time, I am going to have a quick moan about Zelda's espionage abilities. So Ganondorf is not yet Ganon, Hyrule is in darkness, and the sages are uniting, blah. Link finds that he needs help sorting out this problem, and luckily for him, he gets his help from a mysterious stranger called Sheik. I'm sorry Zelda, but no one's buying it. Putting a cloth over your face and lowering your voice does not constitute as a justifiable disguise. Again, she might as well have been wearing sunglasses, because that's about as much effort as she put in here. And when she gets revealed, the game is all like, I was Zelda all along, and then I get angry and try and kill her for wasting my time.
Finally, we come to my number 2 man. His name... Number 2.
End of game boss Gary. In fact, this one was so bloody obvious that the Elite Four was the surprise and Gary wasn't when we first played it. We had it set in our minds so much that we'd be fighting Gary at the end of Pokemon Red and Blue that we kind of ignored the Elite Four's presence right up until we caught up to them, and even then this was like a pre-end game boss warm-up fight for us, despite them being the acclaimed Pokemon champions. The constant battles Ash was having with Gary throughout the game was clearly setting us up for an all-out end-of-game showdown with him. So much so, in fact, that this was what we were aiming for, and not the Elite Four, the actual end-of-game boss section. Anyone who didn't see that one coming clearly licks batteries. Daily.
One more time, got me feeling so free.
Vlad's a vampire! Whilst this one was so obvious, I can't have a go at it because the game wants you to get it. Magicka is such a charming game, and it's crammed with loads of witty humour. You play as a wizard from a wizard's college in a medieval setting, and is sent out to do battle and save the land from evil. Throughout the game, you're getting your missions from a more powerful wizard called Vlad, and in almost every conversation, he takes the time out to remind you that he's not a vampire, despite the fact that you never bring it up. Well, why keep telling me this if you have nothing to hide? Vlad, are you trying to tell me that you're a vampire? No, that's not true. Vlad can't be a vampire. He's told me he's not about 206 times already, so there's no way he can be.
Lleve vampire.
Ah, shit, he was. Damn. Didn't see that coming. I swore he was telling the truth. Oh well, I better go back to licking my double A's then. And on that note, we'll finish there. But if you would like a lick of my AA, then head on over to the True Review website or at True Review on Facebook. Or if you're unable to, then go out into the road, find the nearest car, and have a good old lick of the giant battery in there. Enjoy your meal, and see you soon.
Stop playing around. We want some answers.
You haven't changed.
Wesker, you are alive.
This is Wesker.
We last met at the Spencer estate, wasn't it? Well, isn't this one big family reunion? I would expect you to be happier to see us.
Us?
So slow to catch on.